Fiona from New Zealand Stitch Bird here. I mentioned the other week that I was going to have a go at making another peasant top by Melly Sews. I've finally cut it out and I'll just tell you a little bit about what I've done to alter it for my shape and size. So with the sleeve, I've added on another inch at the bottom. I just want the sleeves to sort of come down to sort of more to my elbow length. So that's what I've done with the sleeve. I mentioned in my previous video about this pattern that it comes with the front and back in one piece, but I've traced it off so that we've got two separate pattern pieces. It just makes it a wee bit easier to manoeuvre around on your fabric if you've got both pieces. So what I've done, and I've also done it with the sleeve, is I've added on 10 mils or a centimetre on the tops of each piece. Now the reason I've done that is this time, rather than using bias binding, I'm actually just going to be folding the top down to make the casing. So I needed to add that little bit of extra on. I just felt that with this eyelet lace, you're going to actually see the bias, and I don't think it's going to look that good. Plus I've found sometimes when I add the bias around the neckline, it actually adds a lot of bulk and the gathers don't sit as nice, and this is already quite a thicker fabric than what I've used for those tops already. So I'm giving this a go to see if it works. So I've added a centimetre on both of those pieces, and this is the front, and I've done the same with this as well for the neckline. Now in regards to altering the pattern to fit me, because it was a little bit small, I have measured the pattern and my bust measurement. So I've actually added about an inch to the fold along the front and measured my hip measurement, and I've graded it out from the armhole, sink, right down to the bottom. So I've added in probably about a good 2 inches on the bottom and then graded it up just so it fits around my hips. As far as doing any bust adjustments, I've really added it in because it's not a real fitting top anyway. There's plenty of room with the gathers around the neck, so it's just a matter of making sure that it was going to go round me rather than fitting me perfectly across there. So by adding that wee bit down the front, and that's been done on the front and the back pattern piece, so I've got quite a bit added when you add it all up because this is on the fold. So that's what I recommend you do, is measure your chest measurement, measure the pattern, and just add a little bit of ease in if it's close, and then also measure your hips and then grade it down from the arm sink right down to how much extra you need in the hip area. Now the other thing I've done too, because it's quite short, the first one I made just basically just sat on the top of my waistband of my jeans, so I've added quite a bit on the bottom. I've probably added, let's just check this out, it's looking like about 6 centimeters, 60 mils on the bottom. Oh, maybe that was the original longer length, because originally Melly, she actually put elastic in the bottom, so I went for the longer full length version, and then I actually added another inch onto this at the bottom as well. So if I hold my piece up, you can see what I'm talking about. I'm even confusing myself. So I did go for the actual length, and then I added an inch along the bottom. Okay, originally I made it shorter, I don't know why I did that, but anyway, so that's a better length for me. And plus it's quite good if you can always make things a little bit longer, then you can, when you put them on, you can make them shorter, but you can't do it down the other way, you run into trouble. So anyway, now I've got the fun job of stitching this together, and I'm just debating whether I do French seams or not, because I don't want to see overlooking through the holes. I'm being really fussy here, but we will see. We'll see if that's what I do, or maybe I might just put green overlocking thread in my overlocker and give that a whirl. So I'll show you the next sort of stage or step that I get to show you how it turns out. Anyway, be back with you shortly. Rightio, what I decided to do was I changed the overlocker thread to a green thread so you don't see it too badly through the holes. So I overlocked the sleeve piece into each of the armhole pieces. I overlocked the side seams. I've overlocked around the sleeves and also around the neckline and around the bottom. So now all I need to do is I've pressed up a seam allowance. I'm going to machine around the bottom for the seam allowance around the hem, and I'm going to make casings in each of the sleeves and around the neckline. When I do my casings, I actually stitch close to the edge as well, and I find that that stops the elastic from rolling quite so much. It just sits a bit nicer, so I might do that on this one as well. So I'm going to go and do that, and then we'll see how it looks. It looks massive like this, but obviously when it's all gathered up, it should be quite good. So I'll go and do that and I'll be back. So what I've done is I've done my casings, and so I stitched really close to the edge and then again along the top of the overlocking, and threaded my elastic, and I've just tried it on, and I'll put a pic of me up wearing the top, and I'm actually quite pleased with it. It turned out quite good, and it's going to be a really cool burst of colour to my summer wardrobe. So it worked really well just folding down the top rather than doing the bias. It just sits so much nicer, and the wig gathers just sit so much better, and I'm quite impressed considering this is a thicker fabric, but it is 100% cotton, so it'll be nice to wear, and it's not too see-through either when you've got it on, so it's quite cool. Anyway, my next week's video is going to be about some of my tops that I've made over the week. I've had a bit of a sewing spurt, so hopefully you enjoy seeing some of the new patterns that I've tried and some of the different tops and combinations that I've made. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye now.